And we're back on CentralValleyTalk.com. Let's talk business. Let's talk education, schools, keeping your kids in school. Esteban Velasquez joins me now. He's from Kings County, Corcoran Unified School District. School starting up soon.
Yes.
And Esteban wants to spread the message today that he thinks you can actually save a child's life by keeping them in school.
That's absolutely true. In fact, that's Kings County's motto. We developed by the district attorney of Kings County. And we...
what is it? Save a life?
It's save a life, keep a kid in school.
Okay.
And the reason we say that is because about 29% of California elementary students are truants. So that means they're missing...
One of three. Almost one of three.
Right. So it's about 980,000 students are considered truant.
On any given day?
Well, in order to become truant, it's you're classified as truant when you miss 3 days and you're unexcused. So that means it's not a medical, it's not an illness. It's, the parents didn't contact
They're ditching.
They're ditching, or the parents didn't contact the schools.
Yeah.
And I'm here because I believe and I have a passion that we can educate students when they're in school. And so how do we do that? We have to, make sure school is exciting and all those kind of things. Kamala Harris, who's a California State Attorney General, recently put out a book, and it's called In School and On Track. And in that, she talks about some of the statistics and what happens when students aren't in school.
They get into trouble.
Absolutely, but it's even more than that. People look at schools and say, "Well, you're just trying to get money back into your pockets."
Because schools are paid for each seat that's filled.
That's
right?
exactly right. When a student attends school, we get ADA, or attendance, average daily attendance. And school districts lost $1.4 billion last year.
By kids being truant.
California. Now, that's a small amount in comparison to what the state lost. And you think about, well, how could the state lose money? Well, when a student is out of school and they become truant, 82% of prisoners in America were high school dropouts. So when we're losing money in the schools, we're also losing money as an economy, because those students turned out to be adults who are not paying taxes. So they're not contributing to the revenue stream in our society.
Yeah.
But instead what they're doing is they're pulling monies from the state by being incarcerated, or by being on welfare, or using other services that, only reason they were able or got to that point was because they didn't continue in school and get a diploma. With a diploma, as you know, you have a diploma to get most
more
jobs now.
Opportunities,
yeah, there's absolutely more opportunities.
So what do you do when you find a kid who's truant? I mean, do you go out and
Well,
to his home? Or?
a lot of districts have a truant officer, and they actually do ride around town, and they'll pick up a student and bring them back to school.
But if they don't want to be there, what does that accomplish?
Well, that's a good question. That's what we have to do, as not only as a school district but as a community.
Make them want to be
We
there.
have to want them to be there. We need to identify why they're not there. There's always another saying that was truancy is not a problem; it's an indicator of other problems. So we have to identify those other problems and then provide the services that we can to help them, whether it's counseling, whether it's parenting skills that we give to the parents. It may not be the student's fault. If they're elementary age kids, most of the time it's the parents that are the ones causing the problems. Young parents are in the K1, K3 schools or in grades. Their parents are usually young parents, and they're still out doing whatever they think they should be doing and not taking care of their kids. So the upper grades, most of the time it's the students' fault. They're the ones that are ditching, and they're more mature, and they should be able to understand that they need to be in school. But we provide services, whether it's behavioral health, mental health services, welfare to work services. I sit on the School Attendance Review Board, and its acronym is SARB, and that board I put together has correctional officers on it, have probation department, teachers, school psychologists, nurses, family family services, and we have all those in this committee because we're trying to narrow down what is the cause of your truancy. What we need to help that student become successful.
What do you think the main cause of truancy is? They're just bored in class, so they don't go?
No, it's really a variety of things. I mean, we had a student we had 7 students last year in one family, and the parents were drug abusers. They were homeless, and the kids, they just didn't.
All 7 didn't go.
All 7. Well,
Wow.
3 of them weren't even enrolled. They didn't even put them in. They didn't enroll them in school. The other 2 were enrolled, but then missed, 50, 60 days of school. There was only 180 days of school. We ended up having to go to court, and then they were arrested because of drug abuse and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we also have other cases where one student, he was doing great all through high school. His junior year, he had a death in the family. His mother passed away, and he was going through some, real hardship personally. And then he thought it was his responsibility to help his younger siblings. He was doing a good thing in his mind because he was helping the family, but it's not his responsibility. It's the father's part, and we need to help that student get some counseling and help the family get through that stage. And once we did that, he did graduate and move on. And that's what we're trying to do. We need to identify the reasons that they're becoming truant, find those indicators, and document them, and then follow up with those.
Okay. So what's the message you want people to get today?
The reason I'm here is I want parents to become involved with the schools. School's getting ready to start up. In Corcoran, our school starts on August 18th, and most districts are within those last 3 weeks of August.
Right.
Get involved, parents. Send your students to school. Find out when they're not going to school. Stay in touch. Respond to the phone calls. The schools make phone calls when the student's not there. We send out letters. We try to do a lot of communication with the parents. Respond back. Let us know that, yes, you knew they were out, so it doesn't count against them. But then also be aware of how many days they're not in school, because every day they miss school, it affects their learning ability. And so we don't want that. We want to develop a community of learners, a community of successful and productive citizens. And that's why I'm here, and I have a real passion for that. And I think if we can all have that passion, we just make California even better.
All right. Put you on the spot here, Esteban.
Okay.
Did you ever ditch school?
Absolutely.
See, I did too.
I did. But I don't remember. One of the reasons I think I have a passion for this because nobody did. Nobody shook me. Sometimes you want to shake somebody,
Yeah.
wake them up, right? Say, look, wake up. You're missing out on stuff. And I missed out on a lot of things because of that. And I really don't want other kids to do that. The memories are built on every day you're in school, whether it's a prom or it's the Disney trip, all those things that kids do, especially their senior and senior years. But there's a lot of experiences they only get to experience once in their life, and they can only do it if they're in school.
All right. Save a life. Keep your kid at school.
Absolutely.
Esteban Velasquez.
Thank you.
From Corcoran Unified School District. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us today. Good message.
Thank you.
Here
Thank
on
you.
CentralValleyTalk.com.